What's up, guys? Welcome back to the next video. I'm Alexander Jarvis, founder of 50Folds from alexanderjarvis.com. So if you've got the SaaS financial model, the next sheet you're going to want to be knowing about is the annual assumptions. Now, I recommend you watch the previous video, which was about the P&L actual, before you pop into this sheet. So what we're going to do is just quickly remind you, if you haven't watched it, we know that there are links here in the P&L actual, which go for your annual numbers, okay? The way the old model worked was it basically just assumed that the contract's renewed at the next forecast period, which kind of obviously doesn't make sense. So I decided to change it because I had a client who had a ton of historical ARR and they were annual contracts and they were a large business. So I was like, fine. And it was a pain in the ass to do, but I've done it, so yay. That's one of the big, I guess, core changes that's happened in this model, or one of the big improvements that's happened over the past, 2 years. So you're going to pop into the next sheet here, which is annual assumptions. As usual, there's a guide up here. There's a summary. There's no links into this sheet because you're just putting in inputs. I'll zoom in so you can see it better. So what's happening here is we've got to have your historical numbers, and then we're going to have your actuals. So we know that the actuals are only 3 months in here because of the settings that we've set, and the actuals and the forecast date, okay? But the thing is, if you're an older business and you've been around for a while, you will have numbers from the previous period, which are going to renew in a forecast period, okay? So those are, it could be 6 months ago. So in 6 months into the future, they're going to want to hopefully be retained or churn out, and you want to keep on making money from those. So those need to be funneled into the forecast sheets, which will be covered sort of quite later in this video series, right? So for us to know what these numbers are and how we should be adding these in and knowing when they should be at a point of decision for a contract renewal or a churn, we basically need to know, go back in time, if you like, Wu-Tang. Anyway, let's keep it fun. So we know, first you're going to put in your actuals here because we need them for the model. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to then put in the historical numbers. So that's exactly the same thing applies, whether or not the factuals or the historics, just kind of going back further, is you're going to put in the number of customers that you actually got in that month. So it's end of month and it's not aggregate, okay? So make sure that you're going to notice what you should actually put in here. So end of month, not aggregate, end of month, not aggregate. These are aggregate, says aggregate, MRR. And then historic is obviously a calculation here. So you're going to put in the number of customers which renewed, or new customers, however it makes sense, who got annual contracts. Okay, so it's typically 12-month contracts. Maybe give them a discount or something. The next thing you're going to do is put in the value of those bookings. Again, not aggregate. It's just what you did that month. So you put in the dollar value there in thousands. So this is $900. This is $1,800. So put them in. You're going to want to think about everything in this model as basic, premium, pro, so that what you're doing is you're creating 3 avatars for your business, depending on the types of customers. Because maybe you have customers who spend a lot of money because they're enterprisey or larger. Maybe you've got consumers, people who spend say $10 a month or something, or maybe they churn higher. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got different profiles for all of these. So if you have never tracked your business thinking about this, what you want to do is then go through your numbers and actually just decide how you're going to allocate them between basic, premium, and pro. Okay, and then just keep that methodology ultimately going forward. So it might be a little difficult for you to figure out exactly how you should strata these up. But these are going to be used for renewing your contracts going forward, so it isn't quite important that you do it properly. Now, next, you're going to put in what the MRR value of those annual contracts is in thousands, okay? Put these in again in your basic, premium, and pro. And then your ARPA is basically just calculated off this, okay? You can, depending if you do your math differently, you can, change formulas, so you can be ARPA times by something equals MRR, annual contract value. But we need to know these numbers, because what's going to happen is the forecasting of the model is going to say, okay, how many customers up for renewal, and then what percentage are going to churn, then the remainder is obviously going to renew. And for the churn part, it says, okay, what was the ARPA at which those customers signed up on now? Because maybe you're going to increase the pricing in the future, right? So you're going to have two prices. You're going to have customers at which they renew at the new price and customers who churn at the old price. And this ARPA number is going to be the old price. So when you lose, I don't know, say 3 of these customers in the year's time, somewhere out in these historicals over here, 3 times the, say, $300 and $900 is what you have lost. Bear in mind, these are the dollar number, it's not thousands, right? And so there's going to be filtered with the model. So the calculations here, basically, they're pulling out 12 months later because we know that that's going to be when they renew. So this will then filter into, see, this summary is where everything goes out, is going to filter into our annual assumption sheet, which is, crazy model with 3,857 lines or something. And it's going to be in there, which is going to do the calculations for those renewals or churns at the old price. And if they renew, it'll be at the new price. So only a couple numbers you need to fill in, and the model will then do all the hard work and figure out exactly what should be done and when. Okay, cool, guys. So if that was useful, awesome. Get on and get it done. If you've got any questions about this, send out the comments. If you've got something big, then I'll update this video to make sure that I'm covering what you need. All right, guys, bye.